Hi, this is Tim with Eduware. In this video, I'm going to show you how to import users into your TestWizard account. To do that, we're going to use the Upload Roster feature. I'm going to click on that from the Tools menu and Upload Roster. Okay, taking a look at the overview for this page, we see that the Wizard Upload feature will accept CSV and Excel format. Also, you see this graphic here, which gives us a great example of how headers are set up. And by headers, I mean these tags above each column, designating what the column is. For example, subject, teacher name, class name, student ID. If you don't have a roster set up like this, we have a roster template available for you to download. You can do that by clicking on Roster Template here, and selecting to open it with Excel. Okay, here I have a roster template. As you can see, we have the headers set up all the way across the top here. Let's take a look at what a completed template with headers might look like. Okay, here you can see I filled in all the information and also a couple of the optional information over on the right, including gender and ethnicity. Now, let's take a look at a roster without headers. This roster is set up a little bit different. There are no headers, and it's not in any particular order that was being shown in the roster template. This may be what your roster looks like now. Let me show you how to upload a roster without headers that might look like this. So, let's go back to our site. Okay, once you're back at the site, you're going to want to select your roster by clicking on Select under Upload File. I'm going to choose the one with no headers. Hit Open. Okay, now you're going to get a couple of options here. You can choose your year and choose your semester. Also, there's a very important question. Does this file contain headers? Well, our file doesn't have these nice headers at the top here, so we're going to say no. After you've done that, click Next. Now, your roster is going to be uploaded, and you're going to have a couple of verification steps. In these steps, the Upload Roster Suite is going to ask you what each column represents. By default, it's going to assume you want to skip the columns. We want to change this. For example, this first column here, that's our subject. I'm going to click the drop down, find subject. This column, this is our class period. Class period. This column, this is the full teacher name. This column, this is the student ID. Moving on, in this column, this is the student last name. Next, student first name. Then we have gender. And the last column on this roster is ethnicity. Look over these again. Everything looks good. Let's move forward. Okay. Now it's asking us to verify the subject, which on my roster said biology, and it's giving me an option of these three. I'll pick biology. Click Next. Okay, it's going to want us to line up now the gender and ethnicity to make sure everything came in. Let's take a look. Male to male, female female, white white, other other, Hispanic Hispanic, black black, Asian Asian, multiracial. Let's find that in the drop down. And American Indian. Okay, I'm going to hit the next arrow. Okay, this is just giving us a quick preview of the roster that we are importing. I think everything looks good here, so I'm going to click Next. Okay, it's letting me know that it's finished importing the data. Once your roster has been imported, each student will then be generated a login and password. This will allow each student to log in and view assignments, take assignments, and view reports. In order to distribute those login and passwords, you're going to want to download the imported usernames and passwords by clicking here. Let's do that now. Let's take a look and see what this file looks like. Okay, there's a couple things I want to point out. In the left column, we have the names sorted alphabetically by last name. Then we have the login name. The login name is the first letter of the first name, and the entire contents of the last name. And then if we have a duplicate in our database, they'll add a number. The initial password is going to be generated from the student's student ID. So you can let the student know their login name, and then let them know that their student ID is their initial password. Once the student logs in for the first time, they'll be given the option to enter an email and change their password. Okay, let's go back to the site. Okay, we finished uploading. I'm going to click the arrow here. This is going to take us back to the home page. Now let's make sure that this roster was imported correctly. I'm going to go to Manage, View Student Roster. From here, I'm going to click on my name, select the year, select the term, select the period. Wow, look at that. Everything came in great. Okay, so I've shown you how to upload a roster without headers. Now let me show you how easy it is to upload a roster with headers. Let's try that now. Going to select a roster. And as an example, this was the roster that I was using. Right here. With the headers. Okay. Let's see how this comes in. 317. Okay, I've selected the file. I'm going to make sure that it says, does this file contain headers? Yes. Click the next arrow. And now the program's automatically going to read the columns and do its best to assign what's going on here. So let's see, it got subject, teacher name, but there's a couple that it didn't get. So let's help it out here. Student last name, student first name, class period, and let's see, it got student ID and gender, and yeah, great. Everything else looks good. We'll skip this column here. This is empty. Okay. Alright, it's matched this up correctly. Everything looks matched up here. This looks good. Okay, and we're done. So, this has been an overview of uploading a roster using our Upload Roster suite, and showing you that you can upload a roster with or without headers. And also, if you do not have a roster made already, you can simply download our roster template, as I showed you earlier. And when you're all done, you can view your current roster by going to View Student Roster. That's all for today.